Hey guys, Edge here, and today I'm bringing you a topic I hinted at this Monday. Excuse me. And it's about why I think the combat of Final Fantasy 15 just doesn't work. And it's like, yeah, you could play it and get through it. Sure, it's functional. But it's the whole hold circle aspect that in a game as easy as this, you can keep in mind my only experience is through like the original release of Final Fantasy 15. And a game is so like none of the Royal Edition stuff, none of that. Uh, and honestly, none of the extra added story bits. I haven't played the game since anything's been added outside of just playing a couple of the DLC chapters. But the combat is hold circle and sometimes press square, which that's just not intuitive. It's not fun. And an argument was made to me in my comment section in one of my videos about it being accessible for new players. Now, this is not going to be an accessibility argument among fighting games, even though I have a huge opinion on that one myself. What this is why a simple hold circle combat system, like you really can't game over in Final Fantasy 15. Like you have to try. But a simple combat system like that is not good for beginners because you should at least bring forth something for them to be doing other than hold circle. I fell asleep through multiple boss fights in Final Fantasy 15. Now, I know I'm probably noted as a hater for the game, but I love the series. I supported the series. I bought, what was this, like $70 or $80? The edition that comes with the movie and the game. Can't see the other disc there, but yeah, see? I bought this edition. I was supporting Final Fantasy. I'll probably buy limited editions of Final Fantasy VII as much as I don't think it's going to be good. I'll probably do that. Probably shouldn't support decisions I disagree with, but I love Final Fantasy. But hey, so my argument is you can have a combat system that's more in depth, but still very beginner friendly. I have over here, it was originally going to be 5 games, but now we're going to look at it, and you might be able to tell me some of these are not JRPGs, and I'll agree with you on others, on some of them. But so what? This is 5, 6, 7 JRPGs, quote unquote, bunny ears JRPGs that have more intuitive combat. And this is going to be an ongoing series where I'm going to talk very briefly about each game here, but then I'm going to go and have some videos showcasing what I'm talking about later on. I don't think the next video of the series is going to be next week. It could be not even the week after. I don't know. Because I have to get to points where I can showcase a good bit of the combat within the game. And some of these games, that's a lot. Anyways, or a lot of the way through. So, I'm going to start with an honorable mention. I really don't consider this a JRPG myself, but it's a Japanese game. It's heavily influenced by stuff, and that is Okami. The art style alone is Japanese, followed by one of the mechanics, the paintbrush mechanic, is actually a very traditional Japanese art style, very minimalistic and traditional. This game's amazing. I'd put it as it's a must play. To me, if you say a 10 out of 10, games can have issues and still be a 10 out of 10 because it's a masterpiece. People must play it. So the combat in this game is simple. You got 3 types of weapons: prayer beads, a glaive, and what else? Oh man, a reflector. It's like a shield, a mirror. Which, if anyone knows anything about the stories of Amaterasu, that's very prevalent. Her reflector, or her mirror, whatever you want to call it. I'm not too up to date, so forgive me. So what it is you have primary attacks, depending on which weapon you have as your primary. And if the weapon is your secondary, it functions differently. So like the reflector is a shield slash counter. The rosary beads are projectiles. I don't even know what the glaive is as your secondary. And it's simple attack, 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 or secondary, which might not even be an attack, dodge button. It's so simple, and it's made by the guy who just came up with Devil May Cry. This is one of his brainchilds, and it's wonderful. This will probably be the first one I get a video up on, and keep in mind this is not a JRPG. I won't consider this one, but it's more like it's accessible combat, and it definitely is worth the mention for this video. Next up, I love this game. You might be able to not consider it a JRPG, but it definitely, you could call it one. I will. Odin Sphere Leaf Thrasser? Leaf Thrasser? I don't know, I'm gonna butcher that word. So this game has 5 different characters you get to play as. It's a 2D game, so 2D combat plane, like a Metal Slug, Mega Man, even Mario. Granted, doesn't play like any of these, but like just so I'm getting the 2D platforming element into your mind. And each character plays drastically different. So on the cover, you can see a handful of the characters. You got the Valkyrie, oh, right there. Very aerial, juggle focused. You got the Berserker. This is an elf who she's probably the most different from them all. And if you learn her well enough, she's still actually really fun to play. But she's just an archer at the end of the day. Uh, I think her name's Velvet. I don't even know. A whip user, which she's the one I didn't play as too much. I never beat the game. This game's amazing. I'm going through it again to unlock all characters and stuff so I can showcase combat, of course. And this guy has a very interesting and I'd say a balanced playstyle. He's good on the ground, he's good in the air. Overall, this is a great experience, pretty good story. Art style is amazing. It offers 2 different game modes to play through. The original and the Leaf Thracer version. It's a remake, I'd almost say just like, or it's a remaster, but I'd say remake of the PS2 game, Odin Sphere. So worth it. Moving on to, oh, not quite a masterpiece, but I do recommend it to most people. Now to a masterpiece, to a game that I have a review of on this channel. It's a really bad review. Nier Automata. The cover is reversible, hence why it looks like this, not the normal cover. Now, about Nier's combat, you got multiple different weapons, light swords, heavy swords, fists. I think there's more, I can't remember. You can put ones as your primary and secondary. Sounds a lot like Okami here. But the story is phenomenal. It's marketed as a JRPG. I really don't consider it one, but hey, marketing tells me it is, so it is, right? Right. We'll just go off of marketing. And oh man, it's so fun. You got 3 different characters. 2 of them play similar, but they have their differences. And then one is quite different, and there's so many different types of combat that you'll go through in this game, and it's just, oh man, just 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece. Play it. This one, I'm a little hesitant to mention this next one. And it's not because this game isn't really liked by fans of the franchise. It's more like, I'm not sure why this one became accessible for me when I recognized many of the things I didn't like in previous ones are in this one that like stopped me from learning it intuitively. But Tales of Zestiria. As I said, not liked as much by all the fans of the franchise, but I think it's a good starting place because for me, I finally was able to just fully understand the combat. It clicked, I could play it, I didn't hate trying to learn the combat for once. And what that might be is because I've played 2 or 3 ones before it, and each one I caught on to new stuff, but it never clicked. So maybe it was just the fact it all built up and finally culminated into a full understanding of it in this one. Now, as I said, this was kind of panned. You could go to Berseria, which I think might even be more accessible than this one. Tales of Berseria. I just don't have the physical copy of that one. So, yeah. Alright, this is a cheat game. I'm using this game as a cheat because it's really, I could mention 2 different games for it and it still works. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5, 2.5 collection. Remix, not collection, my bad. Excuse me. Man. So, I'm not going to say Chain of Memories, and I'm never going to mention Birth by Sleep. Let's just talk about Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts is very bare bones combat. It really is. Your magics actually do combo, and I'm not saying like melee, melee, magic, melee for a combo, but like you can like fire, 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 and it does a very specific uh, thing when you hit the end of your chain of fires. So, I mean, you can make Beavis and Butthead proud, okay? Kingdom Hearts 2 is where it gets really fleshed out. Things start changing. You get some crazy stuff. Drive forms. Like, I can't begin to talk about the combat without just kind of gushing away and everything. And it's accessible. This combat's accessible. You could difficulty mode. So if you're just casual, you could play normal or easy. Or if you really want to get into a almost making the game like you have to play it kind of Dark Soulsy. I hate comparisons like that, but it's the best one I can think of because like the enemies are so punishing. You actually have to think about your actions in Proud mode and even Critical mode. I never played Proud mode for Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm only so far in Critical mode. But yeah, everything is just you gotta really think about it. I fully recommend these games, even like if you've never played an action game within the JRPG genre. These are good. All right, this is my heart. What I'm about to talk to y'all about, this game coming up, it's my heart. So I'm so biased, I probably shouldn't mention it, but Dot Hack GU Last Recode. So Dot Hack GU was a series on the PlayStation. It was a trilogy. Last Recode added a fourth game. We now have a tetralogy, a quadrilogy, whatever you want to call it. You got, I'm just going to go over not everything. You got 3 different weapons. Each weapon has, and you have more than 3. I'm just going over 3, which is, and they each have 2 different types of those weapons. So you got twin blades, and you got rapid twin blades or hold twin blades. So the combo system, and this goes for each weapon, works as like attack, 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 and like it's 4 to 5 hits for the 4 to 6 hits for the twin blade until you get to the rapid or the hold part of it. And when you get to that, it's either mash it for the rapid, which this helps a different system in the game hit faster. It's called Rengeki. I won't even get into Rengeki. Or you have a hold system, which you hold it, charge up, and it depends on which specific twin blade you're using, if it's a rapid or a hold. And the attack is different. It has different effects and values. I'd say it's might be stronger depending on the weapon for rapid, but you don't Rengeki trigger and you don't and other stuff. Like it might be safer, it might not be. With twin blades, it propels you forward and straight through the enemy and does some damage. You can dodge attacks of other enemies and even the enemy you're fighting by using the hold mechanic twin blades. Then broadswords, they have a rapid one. And most for the hold broadsword, it's a 2-hit. You hit, and then the next one you hold and you slam down on them. For the rapid, I'd say it's a 2-hit, but of course rapid does more than 2 hits. But you hit and you tap and you just chainsaw through them. Scythes work the same way. I think they're a 3 to 4 hit combo. I think it's 3 then the thing. So you get where I'm going. Like it's pretty varied. There's more weapons that do even more. And the story, it's just this game is truly, truly a masterpiece, okay? As I said, it's close to my heart. This has done so much for me throughout my life. I really could not mention the game, and I see where I shouldn't. Now, moving on, this is the most recent game in the title. This will set you back the most, $60, or if you're insane like me, $175. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. This game, as far as the main story goes, you could call it easy. The combat, you have simple light attacks, simple heavy attacks. There's ways to maximize your damage. You have ranged attacks, which whether you're a bow person or a spellcaster, or even a gun user, you will use MP when you do your ranged attacks. So you have to do melee attacks to get it back. So the complaint that a character is too focused on magic or something is kind of very mute to me. because you're going to have to do melee combat anyways. And just like Final Fantasy 15, the main game is easy, but it's more, you feel more into the game. You feel more, I don't want to say immersed, but that's the only word I can think of. You feel more immersed in the game because you're not just sitting there holding a button. You're tapping, you're having to actually move around and dodge. The game's not doing everything for you because you're holding button, holding left or right. And yeah, this is kind of me just crapping on Final Fantasy 15 with the comparisons, but that's kind of, it's not what the video is about, but that's kind of just how it has to be because it's just like you can do beginner friendly combat without needing to hold one button. You can make people choose between light attacks, heavy attacks, range attacks, having to dodge enemy attacks. You can make them do all that and still be beginner friendly. All of these games are easy to pick up, easy to play, and if you play on normal difficulty, if there's even difficulties in the games, you'll probably get through it just fine. Alright, and there's other stuff I want to talk about. There are some issues I would love to point out in Ni no Kuni. This will be when I make the videos specific to these games. All this being said, I am Edge. Thank you for visiting my channel. Thank you for watching this video. And I wish you all a wonderful day.